Hi everyone, Emma here. Take a look at these lovely ceramic beads. So I got these from N Beads last month and I made a few things with it, and it's time to make some more lovely goodies with it. So this was the Mix 500 that I got, and I haven't sorted through them yet. I kind of like the way they look all mixed up, but I do have an idea for some different bracelets. So let's take a look. I started out with these lovely red ones. So let's put this aside and I'll show you what I have. So today what I thought I would do is make a cha-cha bracelet. Let's enlarge this a bit with these lovely sacred hearts. So yeah, let's take a look. So to start out with, I'll explain to you what I have supply-wise, and I've kind of organized things a little ahead of time so that like I've turned these already just to make it quicker to show you. So I've left a few blank to give you an example. I'm using these lovely head pins that I got from Kathy in the beading room, and this is how they come. And these are gold plated head pins, 1.5 inch, and they're 20 gram, and they are lovely. So that's what I'm using today. I've also got some Swarovski hearts. So I tried to pick colors that would go with the red heart. So I thought of gold initially, and so that's why I have a dark red heart, a light red that really matches this one here, and then I have this yellow crystal heart to go on the bracelet. And I think what we'll do for this bracelet is I will put these three hearts in the middle of the chain, and then the ceramic hearts along the side, and then alternate it with these lovely dangles. And these are 4mm bicones, Swarovski bicones, and I've added some gold-plated daisy spacers and a melon bead to that. So let's take a look. Oh, the other thing I have here is these pinch bails. So you can wire wrap your hearts as well. I'm using pinch bails, and these came from AliExpress. And they come in a big bag. Where did I have? Come in a big bag. I'm not sure how many's in there. Maybe 100. And it was super cheap. It was like, I don't even think it was $2. Maybe $1.50. And they had the different metals. So they are lovely. So far, I haven't used them yet, so we'll see how lovely they are once I have a clasp, one of these. You can use any type of clasp to attach your chain. Now, I did want to use some chunky chain just because with a cha-cha bracelet, things start to get a bit heavy. You want to have a durable, chunky chain. And also you want to have space to put your jump rings and attach your dangles. So this one, the hole's really small. I'm hoping we can get it in there anyway. What I'm doing for this one, because I don't have chunky chain, is I'm doubling my chain. So I have 2 strands. So we'll put the dangles on through both pieces of chain, and that should take care of that. So let's start out with the heart and how I've put them together. And let me enlarge it a bit more. So I did a few examples of wire wrapping. This one was done with the gold-plated head pin. Now, because they're short, there wasn't a lot of space to turn it. You can see it was really hard to turn. And then this was a longer head pin that I had, but I suck at doing turns on head pins, so I opted out to, I'll put those aside, to just do a straight loop that you can attach. And I've added a daisy spacer at the bottom. I tried options with like a gold bead at the top and stuff. It just didn't look right, so I'm just going to leave it like that. Sometimes simple is best, so I'm just going to grab my head pin and add a daisy spacer. We need some more light on here, I think. Okay, let's add a daisy spacer and a heart bead, that. And now your head pin is too long, so you need to clip it. And I just hold it like that and then put my nail where I think it is. After you do a few, you start to get a pretty good idea where to clip it. And hang on to that so it doesn't fly and hit your eyes. And now you're going to take your round nose pliers, and you can mark your pliers with a Sharpie marker to the same spot every time so that when you turn you get the same size turn. I found I've done that before and it erases over time, so I just go ahead and eyeball it. You're not going to see a whole lot of the loop anyway, so it's not that big a deal. So you just grab it maybe about there and turn, open and turn till it comes all the way around. And because you want your circle at the middle of your head pin, then you bring your pliers back over like this and then turn it a little bit, and that's what you have. That's super simple. If you have the magic looper, you can use that. I have one, but it is for bigger size loops, so I need to get a smaller one, but they're super expensive. So let's finish these three like that. I may need to clip a little more off of that. Bring it about there. Turn, open, turn, keep going. Yeah, so it went a little further, but you know what? Not going to worry about it. Just going to turn it like that. So pick up our daisy spacer. Like that. Clip the end off. And grab it and turn that, and then reverse your turn. That's it. Okay, so those are ready. So now let's go ahead and add our pinch bails to our hearts. So I think I may have to open this up a bit. See if I can do it with my hands. Yeah, I can. It's a little tight. If you angle it, you can get one side in, and then I'm going to use my pliers to close this because it is a little bit hard. Some of them you can use your fingers, and make sure that's in. Oh, that's pretty. Wow. So there you go. Lovely. Okay, let's do the next ones. See if I can open this. Oh yeah, that one opened pretty easily. We have our yellow. So put that one in. And let me see if I can squeeze this one. It was kind of soft, so yeah. There, that went in. There you go. So sometimes if it's soft enough, you can use your fingers to squeeze it, and that way you don't risk marring it up or crushing your crystal. So there's the yellow one, really pretty. These pinch bails do seem a little bit big for, I'll show you on this one, for this heart. Let me This one was a little stiffer. Let's see if I can get it. And sometimes what you need to do is clip the little bit of the tip of this pinch bail so that it squeezes in, because right now when I squeeze it, I can feel the tip from the other one hitting each other, so that's why it's not closing all the way, but still not a big deal. It's moving around pretty nice, but you can see quite a bit of space in between the crystal. So if you want it to be a little more snug, then you can use a smaller pinch bail. But I mean, these are pretty small pinch bails. And here's the thing, I feel like with a cha-cha bracelet, I like everything to move around. So there is your lovely hearts. Okay, so then we have these guys here. I have a few ready to go. So we're gonna pick up a daisy spacer and a yellow Swarovski crystal, then a melon, these are metallic melon beads, another yellow crystal, bicone, and your daisy spacer. So again, we have too much head pin, so we're going to cut that. And we're going to get our round nose and find a spot and turn, turn, and then counter turn slightly, and there you go. You can straighten this out, and there you have it. So we'll do the next two. There, and counter turn. Next one, clip that, and make sure it's flush, and turn, open, turn, and counter turn, and just straighten everything out. Okay, now it's time to start putting everything together, now that we have everything turned here. So let's put these guys here and get our chain. So I think what I'll do is start with the clasp. I'm wondering if I should start in the middle with the hearts. Yeah. No, I think I'm going to start. Oh, decisions. Let's add the clasp on the one side first. So we need some jump rings. So I am going to use a little bit bigger jump rings on the end. So grab our pliers and open this guy up. I'm thinking maybe I will put 2 jump rings. It's a thought. So 1 for each chain. No, I think I'm going to loop everything on the 1 jump ring. I just don't want the chain to move around much from each other. So just add the 2 together and then add it to your clasp. You could double it and put a second jump ring just to keep it nice and secure. But these jump rings are a pretty big gauge, so I think it'll be fine. Just make sure it's in there. So there we have it. And I just eyeballed the measurement of the chain. So yeah, one side's like a couple of links longer. Not a big deal. We'll cut that at the end. Okay, so now I think we do need to go to the middle, and that's just because we want to put an even amount of things on each side. So we'll grab the 2 pieces of chain, and then again, this is just like eyeballing to find the middle. It doesn't have to be totally need a jump ring here. So now I'm just wondering if we use this size or a bit tinier jump ring for, yeah, you know what, I think we'll use the same size so that there's a lot of movement of the dangles. So let's put a bunch there. Oh, that's not the right size. You're gonna need a bunch of these guys. So you can, the way we've turned these, you can attach these directly. Yeah, we'll see how we get this going here. So I want to make sure there's my middle. Let's just turn it that way. Okay, take our first one, open it up, and we'll put the yellow in the middle. That, and just hook both pieces of chain into that. And there we go. Okay. Move this up so that you see this better. It does seem like it's not quite, this one seems a bit longer. Weird how that, so maybe we should have started from the middle. Let me fix this. Okay, let's do it this way. So I'm just gonna hold it up there and find. You can count the links. These links are pretty darn small. And that just came off. Let's try this again. I am going to eyeball the middle, I guess. Let me get my ruler out. That's another reason for using a chunkier chain. It's easier to count. Okay, so there's 20. My ruler's lost some of its numbering. Okay, so looks like it's 18. So we need to go to the 9. Let me put this there. That will tell me where it is. Okay, let's see if we can add these 2. 1, 2, and then add the heart. I got there. That's better. Much better. Ta-da! Okay. That's what happens when you start changing the recipe. We're supposed to have big chain. Okay, let's do the next one. So now it's up to you how you want to add your charms. If you want to add them every other link, that's usually what I do because I really like to have a bunch of stuff on my cha-cha bracelet. So I'm just, and this is kind of a eyeballing situation as well. There's one. Oh, these chains are tiny, tiny. It's not that it's not going through, it's just hard to maneuver with the camera in the way. There we go. That one should be in. Oh, I went through. Okay. So there, and we want this one. Okay, maybe it's the way I'm holding my. Wow. Yeah, I think it is. The chain is so small. I wonder if I did it with my fingers. No, that's no help at all. Let's see. Yeah, it's definitely the two chain situation that's a little bit messy. There. I wonder if we put it through the one chain, through the link, and then just looped it over top of the second one. It's not going to go anywhere. It's going to stay. I think I might try that. Oh, it's going to be worth it in the end. Trust me. Hopefully it's not too frustrating for you guys to watch. So let's see what we could do with this one. That one went in a lot easier. And put the heart on. That. And close it nice. And get these guys all on the same wavelength. There we go. There, like that. Beautiful. Okay, so let's keep. We may not need all of these things. It looks like it's. So, do we put. I think we're going to put one of these on next, and that will kind of outline these. So, I'm wondering. I think I'm going to try this first. And I'll tell you why the jump ring for me works a little better, because when you start opening these head pins, sometimes these beads kind of work their way up as you're trying to put it on the chain, and it's frustrating. Lovely. The other thing too is you can always double up on the links, or you can do every one. So, I mean, it's your bracelet. You can do whatever you want. So I'm just looking at and making sure this hole is closed enough so that it won't come off the link. And grab one of these guys. And let's take a look at our chain. Get our second hole. There, so that worked a little better. What I did was I held it tight on my finger, so it kept the links from moving around. So that's what we have so far. Okay, it's time to put the hearts on. That's so lovely. Yeah. So this one needs to be closed a little more. And I think I'm going to turn it that. There, nice and closed. And grab one of these guys. That on. And grab that tight. So there's that loop. So now we want to go to this one here. Yeah, that makes a big difference. Holding it tight. Oh, it's still a bit. Let's do this. Nope, didn't go through. There. And the heart came off, so let's put this back on. This jump ring is a bit wonky, so I'm just gonna fix it. There. There we go. Let's make sure our guy is closed here. Okay. Take a jump ring. Let's take a look. So the jump ring's through there, so let's go through these two guys. There we go. These jump rings are they're inexpensive jump rings, so they're a bit wonky. Make sure that's closed right. This is looking pretty. Oh yeah, lovely. Okay. Let's add these guys. And check to make sure it's closed right. And one. Grab one of these. It's getting a bit hard to see. They're so tiny. There. Did that one come off? No, it's there. And I would continue this on my own and then show you at the end, but I don't have a pause button on the camera. And let me see, this looks like it's not sitting nicely. I know what it is. The chain just got turned on the other side. So there. Start to come along. So just go ahead and fast forward to the end. Simple solution. This. Okay, so we're through there, so we're going to go through these two. That. And add our dangle. There. Out. Okay. Grab the next heart. Let's make sure it's closed. There. And the tempering. Okay. So now we're going to go through these two. That seems to be getting easier as I go, but that could be famous last words. Now, the one thing I find with cha-cha bracelets is I always find that even though you add it to the same side of the chain, like on the lower or the top portion, it always gets turned around, but you don't notice it when you're wearing it, so it's not that big a deal. So let's see what we have left here. We are going to do this. We need one of these. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3. There's 3, 4, 4. Okay, so then we can add an extra one at the end. This is what it's going to look like. So we have a few more to go here. So bear with me. Let's adjust our little pin here. It needs to be turned a little more to close that hole. Just there. Okay. Okay. So let's go through these guys. It's hard to see with all the stuff dangling off the chain. Make sure all these guys are closed, right? There. We'll go through these. And a heart. Just make sure it's the right one. Yeah, heart. Okay. Crystal. Take a jump ring. I did buy a clamping setup, and maybe for the next cha-cha bracelet I make, I will set it up. I did find that it's too big for the camera setup, so it gets in the way. But if I could figure out a smaller version of it, that might work. Okay. Go through these halves and that one. We're going to add one of these ones over here. So you could probably space these out more because you can see there's lots of chain on the other side. But you know what? That part of the chain goes against your wrist. So it's probably fine. It doesn't want to go through that side. Way too open. This is starting to look amazing. Ta-da! Okay, so this side's done, so let's flip to the other side and see if we can get these guys up quickly. And I'm going to arrange them just so that I know which ones comes next. We'll make sure these guys are all closed. 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 And closed. Okay. So the idea with putting it on the length is you want it to stay in the same spot. If you were to just feed them on, they would all bunch up together. Let's grab another one of these. And our chain. You do get quicker at it, I think. That is not closed right there. Getting there. So when you're doing this at home, it's supposed to be nice and relaxing and stuff. I'm kind of rushing through it, and I mean, the idea is it's fun making these things. So, but I'm, going quickly because it is kind of boring. I don't have any funny stories I can tell you. I think I've depleted my story telling stories. Actually, the ones that I can actually tell on YouTube without getting kicked off of YouTube. My career as a nurse, I have a lot of funny stories, but they're not meant for repeating in mixed company, if you get my drift. When I worked at the Veterans Hospital, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. So the veterans that I worked with were mostly pilots, and they have a really amazing sense of humor. And I worked on the Alzheimer's unit, and even in Alzheimer's, like the fog of not knowing, where you are, who you are, that kind of thing, they still had their humor, and it was really refreshing and a lot of fun. I used to so we have in Canada, if you know anything about Canadians, I don't know that I would say we love our coffee. We love our drive-through coffee. So Tim Hortons is a Canadian company. I don't know, maybe been bought by a bigger American company recently, but Anyway, so to be Canadian, you know, everybody knows Tim Hortons because we go to drive-throughs for Tim Hortons coffee and donuts. And so they make these thing called, oh, I closed it and I didn't add my dangle. See, that's what happens when I start talking. The donut holes, and I think that's what they call them in like other places call them donut holes, but we call them Timbits. So the coffee shop is called Tim Hortons, so of course the holes are called Timbits. But anyway, you can buy a box of these. It's a little box with a, it looks like a little kind of lunchbox container in cardboard. And you buy a box of 20 of these. They're fairly big, like, you know, you could easily choke on one. They're that big. So I used to bring them in for the patients when I worked night shift. And we had this one old guy. He never talked, and he was just a short little guy. And he was like always in a grumpy mood. He never really talked that much, but when he did, it was always like Oscar the Grouch kind of thing. But anyway, so he, you know, of course, a lot of them have a hard time sleeping. So I'd come in at 11 and he was sitting in the hall waiting. And I'd offer him some Timbits and he would just scarf them down. The one night he put like 5 of them in his mouth at once and started choking. I'm like, oh my God. Spit it up, spit it up. I got my hand out and I'm trying to get him to spit it in my hand. And I'm like, that's all I need to explain why this patient choked. Because I was feeding him Timbits. So I'm going to clip off this excess. Make it the same length. And then we're going to take a jump ring and we are done this lovely bracelet. Just take the ends, even if it's not exactly even. Sorry, I'm adjusting for where the camera is, and I'm kind of going off to the side around the camera, so that's why I was at the edge of the image. Okay, so then we take this piece here of the clasp, the other side, loop it in, and we now have a cha-cha bracelet. So in case you're wondering, the size of the chain that you use is all going to be dependent on how big you want to make your bracelet. So for your wrist, you make it bigger. So there is this lovely cha-cha bracelet. Now my hand is really small. This is a 7.5. So you can see you kind of don't need dangles on this side. But then you have that. Look at that. It's beautiful. And I think if I were to do this differently, I might bunch these hearts a little more together and have it just all these, or maybe just do all these. But there you go. There's the lovely bracelet. So thank you for joining me. And stay tuned. I am going to make a few more of these with different components, but with the hearts and different colors. Should be really cool. I'll try and make it a little quicker, so I might do half of the bracelet ahead of time, but we'll see. Maybe I'll come up with more stories to tell. How's that? So there's this lovely bracelet. Flip that one over. And move that side. There. Take care, everyone. See you in the next video.